Coach Becki, can we get one of these?
When do we get our interview with you?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach.
Congratulations on making the playoffs. What did you tell the team at halftime?
I can't even remember. No, we just talked about what was working for us. We watched their press in detail and we knew that we could hurt them with our right and left back higher than their press. Just being a little bit more patient. I think we needed to be more patient in the build. We needed to keep the ball a little bit better. I think our press was really good. I think defensively we did a really good job. We're obviously disappointed to concede a goal, but it was working and we just needed to believe that it could continue to work. We started the second half at 0-0, which was what we went in at halftime and said we need to start the game again, and we did, so it was good.
Becki, congratulations.
Thank you.
Certainly a massive test for you tonight and getting the playoffs, a successful test. Is this the best game that you played during your time here? And what elements of the game were you most pleased with?
Yeah, I think obviously to score 5 goals is massive. I think that's something that we've talked about a lot over the last few weeks, and it's just being efficient in the 18-yard box, and we were efficient tonight. I think that's really important. I think the complete performance was really important, and we knew that goal difference was going to matter. The team was super motivated. This week's been brilliant. I think, we knew that people wrote us off, but no one in the room wrote each other off. Like, we were all in it and we all believed in it, staff, players. We knew we weren't done. There was a vibe that we weren't done. So I think taking that into this game was so big for belief and confidence. And ultimately, I think the performance that we've been waiting for, I still have spaces to improve. I need to go back and watch the game, and we're always going to push to improve. And I think, the goal was to get in and not just get in. Like, there's still so much more from this group, and we're peaking at the right time, and that's really important. And we're obviously going to push to continue to go forward in the competition.
Okay.
Becki, congratulations. Couple of questions. First one is that champagne? I think I smell champagne.
No, it's water. They got me with the water.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's not much of a celebration.
No.
The other question is, I asked Sarah this, but she's in the game. You're on the sidelines. Are you guys getting updated on the scores of the other games? Because it was 2 tiebreakers that got you into 5th place. Did you know what was going on?
At halftime, we checked in on the scores, and then obviously second half we had someone messaging down what the scores were and what we needed. I think obviously when we conceded the goal, we knew that goal difference was going to matter, and we had to push on. And then we obviously monitored it last 5 minutes. Are we in? Are we not in? What do we need? Can we change anything? So yeah, I mean, I let Larry and Dan kind of deal with that and send me the message. I think the main priority for us tonight was 3 points, and then obviously checking in on what we needed to go further. And again, the players knew that we needed to put in performance, and I think they knew what we needed to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cameron.
Yeah. Hi, Coach. From what we've seen the last few months and what we just heard from Emma and Sarah, it looks like your team has bought into kind of everything you've instilled as a head coach. How important is that to you? And also, what are some of those things that you've kind of tried to instill that they've shown you on the field?
Yeah, I think we have to look beyond, and I know that my title right now is interim head coach, but we have an incredible group of staff. Leary, as an assistant coach, I can't speak highly enough of her and what she does for the group, and Dan with the goalkeepers and set pieces. Like, we've won games in these moments that haven't just come down to the head coach or the player. Like, it's a bigger squad than that. And we say every day in the film room and at training, it's not about 11 players, it's about 26 people that, we have players that graft and grind every day and don't make a squad, but they keep going and they keep going and they believe in the team. We have staff that truly are bought into a vision that we know that we can be good. Our medical staff, our performance staff, I can't speak highly enough of just how the group has come together. We've added new staff along the way, and they've played a major role in the success. So I think the buy-in comes down to everybody being on the same page and having the same goal. And I can't speak highly enough about the team, the players, and the staff that we have in and around every day that just continue to push all the standards and the boundaries.
Definitely. And then you have a trip to Seattle coming up against the OL Reign. Kind of what are your early impressions on that matchup?
Yeah, I think, again, we obviously will go away and look at the game and look at spaces that we think we can exploit them and hurt them, but we've played them a bunch of times. It's not anything new, and I think that's the crazy part about this league, and especially playing Portland and Seattle and obviously San Diego in the Challenge Cup. We've played them numerous times. Again, I mentioned earlier, momentum's so important, and I think an incredible moment for us was obviously the result against Orlando was disappointing, but we bounced straight back again, and that's a sign of a team that is in form and is resilient. So we just have to continue to grow. I think there's not going to be any need for motivation this week. We're going to show up. We're going to give it everything we have next week at Seattle. And I said we spoke about it as a group already. Like, we didn't just aim to get in. Now we're in. We got to push on them more.
Thank you, Coach.
Hi, Becki. Congratulations. Obviously when you took over, the goal was to make the playoffs. You've now done that. What was that feeling of that water shower?
I mean, I knew it was coming because they were yelling at me, Becki. It was good. I think, again, I have to go home and process this moment. Again, just super proud of everybody for this. I think, like I said, my mentality is straight away, what's next? Obviously, you need to enjoy it, but let's go. We want to go to Seattle and we want to keep growing and keep putting on performances for everybody. And I think, we said it again, like, people speak about pressure, but our last 12 games have all been cup finals. Like, today was no different. And the next game will be no different. And if there's any team that's prepared for a pressure situation, it's us. So we'll be ready to go.
Over here.
Congrats. Obviously, this is, the starting 11 performed really well today, 2-0 up at half time. There aren't many clubs in the playoffs even now that can call on a US international, a Japan international. That squad depth is so important to you. How do you think that sets you apart from, the other teams going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think, again, we talked a lot in this group about your role changing and being prepared for what your role might be that week. And, there's never fun conversations when you have to tell people that they're starting or they're not starting, or people are going to be disappointed, and you want people to not be happy with not being in the starting 11, but ultimately you know that they're going to impact the game. And it's the same if you don't make the roster, how are you going to impact the week? And we've really focused on impact that any player at any given moment can give to the group. And I think, again, when you have 26 players that all have an impact, you can only keep growing. But again, it's great to have players like Alyssa, Jern, Clarice, like our bench is deep. And we have to continue to use that. So it's really important.
When you first take over, everybody expects, the first couple of games they call it, the coach bump, whatever, new coach bump. But this group has carried that on for like 12, 13 games. What did you see when you first took over, and how did that sort of progress in this group throughout this run here?
Yeah, I think, again, it was a group that we're just crying out to be heard and seen by everybody. I think people wrote us off, and that kind of could be a little more motivating than anything. And when you speak about bringing a group together, and you walk into our training environment and it's fun. Like, people want to be there. People enjoy the moment they walk into, the moment they leave, and they compete. Like, you get people on the field and they compete with each other. And again, there's disappointment, but it's how you value everybody. And I think being valued is really, really, really important. The group's always had it in them. I think it's just a case of continuing to grow and continue to find that, continue with the momentum for us.
Hi Coach, Sarah here from the Women's Soccer Show. Does it give this team an extra boost of confidence to beat Portland, who were sitting at number 1 going into today's game? Or is it just kind of the same as you were saying, every game for a while now has been win, move on, lose, go home mentality?
Yeah.
Is it the same, or do you get that extra boost?
Yeah, every game has been that. And I think it's actually crazy when we walked out to the game today, we didn't talk once about Portland being able to win the league today. Not once. It didn't cross anybody's mind because we were so focused on us. And it's actually crazy when you think about it. I see the disappointment on the Portland faces and their equality side. But we didn't speak about their side of what was happening for them. We spoke about how we were going to be successful and how we were going to get 3 points. Sometimes the top teams, like, there's matchups in football and they're always interesting to look at, and we scored 12 goals against Portland this year. And when you think about that and you think about how difficult they are to break down and the quality players they have, credit to our players that have the no fear mentality to just go out and say, it doesn't matter who we're playing, we're just going to play with freedom.
The last 2 questions for Becki. Ivan, go ahead.
Hey Coach, congratulations.
Yeah, your last
Savannah McCaskill, she scored, I think, like a minute into the second half, and there have been a lot of examples where if a team scores within that stretch, it kind of creates a snowball effect, and it keeps gives them the momentum. How important was that goal by Savannah?
Yeah, huge. I said at halftime we came back out with a 0-0 mentality. We came back out that the game was not close to being done. We knew that Portland would change in the sense that they had to press us a little bit higher. We knew that we'd be under a little bit more pressure, and the second half was probably going to be a little more ugly. So I think that third goal is always the one, right? Like when we come back out, and we wanted to set the tempo. We wanted to dictate that it's our home field. These are our fans. We're here to play. So that was really important for us. We knew it was massive, and we always talk about the 5 minutes after we come back out. And again, we came out with that. The game's restarted. It's a new game.
Coach, you guys found a lot of holes. You scored in different ways. What was your live reaction to that bicycle kick? And do you feel like that should make SportsCenter's top 10 tonight?
I'm gonna tell you, Sid does this every day. This is not like a one-off. We talked about actually a lot of our finishes. We sat on the bench and we're like, this is a year's worth of X that has suddenly in one moment come out, right? It's not like a coincidence that these things happen. And you watch Sid finish it in training, and you know she's got it in her, right? She always tries it. She somehow always ends the practice with a moment like that. So that's Sid. She's back, and I think you can see that tonight. And it was an unbelievable finish, but it's not a coincidence. She does it daily.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Becki.
I'll change that.
Hey now. Hey now.
Thank you, everyone.
Coach Becki, can we get one of these?
When do we get our interview with you?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach.
Lisa's next week.